Can you all hear me? Hi, good morning, everybody. Is there any indication that I know I'm being heard? Okay, that's great. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to read because I've never done any kind of interview before or given any presentation. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here in Orangeville, Canada. We're in Ontario. You can Google to see where we are. Okay. My name is Anoop. And this is Sahil, my son, Anup Prashar and Sahil Prashar. Okay. And we live in a small town, as I said, in Orangeville. And Sahil is autistic. He was diagnosed at 5. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be sharing our family's unique experience with autism. Okay. I'm not an expert in making presentations or speeches. I'm simply a father sharing our journey. Okay. So I've been living in Canada for 55 years. All right. We live on in a farming area, uh, basically on 2 acres of land. And I bought this place because Sahil was not able to travel in a bus or experience life. He needed a room. So I bought this parcel of land, and there was this old house on it. And I realized that he had some talents, and I destroyed the interiors and rebuilt everything. That was 15 years ago. And created a place for Sahil to improve his talent. Okay. Some parts of the interview, it may sound like that I'm being boastful or I'm aggressive. Okay. Aggressive, boastful. The reasons for that could be out of the years and years of negative interactions I had with the normal people. Okay. So let's begin. I want to thank you all for attending my presentation today. I especially want to acknowledge and appreciate each one of you for choosing the noble profession of autism therapy. This is often a thankless and underappreciated job fraught with risks and potential danger, especially for women. God made you all very different, and yet you have taken on an extremely challenging role. This role can cause significant stress and internal family problem, making it difficult path to choose. So why do it? There are many other easier ways to earn a living. Why choose this field? You chose this field to help humanity. Your daily dedication to your job is a form of worship in itself. You don't need to go to places of worship to demonstrate your commitment to a higher purpose. Your work is a testament to your devotion. You're all very special people. In every society, there exists a hierarchy, whether it's based on caste, skin color, or financial standing. Unfortunately, autistic individuals often find themselves at the bottom of these hierarchies. In India, for example, they often refer to as autistic people as pagal. And we've heard this before from people. And autistic people face several prejudices. They're shunned, harmed, uncared for, and treated as subhuman. Throughout my life, I have encountered many people like that, from all um, intellectual levels to religious representatives who disregard individuals with autism. Over time, I've come to understand that much that we consider humanity and religion is merely a facade. This presentation is a reflection on my personal experience. What began as an experiment has evolved into a documented methodology, which I hope would eventually gain recognition in the scientific and autism community. As I started to see positive results, I reached out to autism centers and research institutions worldwide, but received no responses. After many years, I finally connected with the Autism Ashram in Hyderabad and shared my experiment with Dr. Anil Kundra. And your organization is the second to show interest. So the experiment, I'm going to get to the whole, when I talk about the experiment, is Sahil's learning. And we started about 14 years ago. And Sahil began to memorize vast amount of data, lyrical data. So I want to explain to you how he was able to do, why I introduced him to that, and how it came about. I want you to take a note. It's going to be maybe a bit silly, but 3 things which contributed to Sahil learning 100+ songs and mastering vocals. And the first thing was, it was a book, it was required reading in high school. Okay. I'm going to get to that book and the details later, but the book was called Flowers for Algernon. Okay. The second book was Arnold Schwarzenegger, his autobiography book, which I read at the age of 16. The third thing that contributed to Sahil was my love for Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, everything related to the artist. And I had this love with this guy's music probably before the invention of computers and before the internet. Okay. So I'm going to get to all that. So let's try to understand the mechanics of a song. What is a song? Does anybody know when they're listening to a song, what's mechanically is happening? First of all, there's voice and note modulations relating to pitch. There are various pauses that are instrumental. Pieces can continue. There are subtle touches giving the song feeling. Certain words are emphasized. There are facial expression, hand gestures. Then there are, of course, beautiful instruments. A song is basically a short magic trick. The instruments complement the vocals and vice versa. An average person may be able to pick up the patterns in each individual song. To an autistic person, the whole world is a pattern. Okay? From getting up in the morning, my son sees everything is a pattern. Once you lock him on a pattern, he will execute whatever you put in front of him. Okay, getting back to the song. So a normal person can memorize patterns in 20 to 30 songs. I've seen many times when an artist is up on the stage, they have all kinds of earpieces, they have iPad, and they're basically looking at notes. Sahil doesn't look at anything. He knows the words, he's memorized them. Take away all those notes, all those gadgets, and tell me how a person can sing songs if they're not even able to read, write, or understand what the words mean. It's impossible. So that's what Sahil has been doing, singing hundreds of songs without notes. He memorized all the subtle little vocals, inflections, modulation. And the fact is, Sahil can sing songs in any languages he chooses. because language is one to him. He doesn't understand anything. So every language is the same. We had a caregiver once came, and she was Filipino. And Sahil began to sing a song in Tagalog. And he would have learned it completely, but that's when, just at the time when COVID started. So the caregiver had to leave. But we're gonna get to a Japanese song that Sahil's gonna do later. So we basically do songs of 30 to 40 artists. Okay. Those songs are in Hindi, Punjabi, and English. The music rehearsals that we do 2 to 8 hours every day. Yeah, I can do 2 to 8 hours every day because I'm retired. It wasn't always this way. We were doing 2 hours for a long time, but once I retired, Sahil has a fascination. He wants to sit down. He wants to learn. I don't force him. And our rehearsals are fun. We take breaks and we try different things, what works, what doesn't work. And all this interaction I involve with Sahil, it's doing effects on his brain. Normally, if I had not done that, he would be in his room, sitting down, lying down on the bed. So one of the things, the interaction is that Sahil follows instructions. Okay. And those instructions are limited. The words he understands are very limited, right? But really the point is that interaction between Sahil and me is basically becomes a bond. He's very respectful, very loving, very harmless. Right now, what you're seeing him, usually we had him on some medicines for so he doesn't have any violent outbursts. And we took him off about 10 days ago, and he's perfectly fine. There's the odd little bit here and there, but we can get past that because those medicines, they play effects on liver and other internal organs. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a sample of what we do every day. And today's sample is not really a performance. It's basically in between our daily routine. Okay, we're not here. It's not a show, but these are currently the block of songs that we're doing, that we're working on. Sal, you okay? Okay, good. So the reason we do so many songs is the guy has to be challenged, and I get bored. Okay, you want to fall asleep, if you hear this, you do the same songs. We have to change it, and we pick really tough artists like Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. If something catches my ear, and what's interesting is whatever catches my ear, he absorbs it, he loves it. So we try to figure out how that song is performed. It's a hit and miss. Sometimes it doesn't work, right? So understanding a song's mechanics, voice and note modulations. One of the things that Sahil does, when you sit him on a harmonium or a keyboard, it's like almost talking to an alien. There was a movie about I forget the name, but aliens were communicating in notes. It was made in 1976, 75, somewhere around there. And one of the things I noticed is when you play whatever scale you're on, Sahil automatically understands that's the scale you want to play, and he will sing according to that scale. That's automatic. Pauses. What's really strange is 100 songs, and Sahil knows where to pause. Now, if you were to put a karaoke behind Sahil and have the words appear, or have somebody singing, Sahil is in time. He's not looking at the words, he's looking the opposite way, but he's going with the time, whatever the words are, he's fairly accurate, right? So emotional expressions. Well, sometimes this is something new to us. We're trying to get Sahil to understand emotions, which he doesn't understand. Facial expression, he doesn't understand. Hand gestures he's starting to learn, and sometimes it's hit and miss, and sometimes it's he fakes it, right? Because the other artist, he's just copying whatever the other artist is doing. Okay, so one of the other things that we do, because we know a song is a magic trick, we take a song and we have some software and we remove the vocals, and then we get Sahil to sing with the instruments only, okay? And that's what I was telling you. Violins, classical instruments really add something. It makes Sahil's music sound way so much better. Okay. Getting back to what I was saying about patterns, that's what I learned early on, that everything is a pattern. If you put him on a pattern, this rehearsal, for example, he's sitting here. He doesn't sit here normally. He's usually in his room, and he knows at 9 o'clock what I do is I play let's do it. I play something called Alankar, which are musical, hold on, which are musical vocal exercises. And so there's on the YouTube, I want to go into a little bit of depth of this because I want everybody to know
New Band-Aid brand Pro Heal.
it's not a brag that we're doing. I just want this thing to be documented and people to know all over the world that, okay, we have videos on YouTube and they're vocal exercises. I used to get a lot of people telling me, a lot of musicians, singers, anybody that came across, Sahil can't sing. Sahil doesn't know this, he doesn't know how to do this or that. So then I began to analyze the inner workings of normal people and their brains. Okay, is that true? So I have, let's say, 10 videos, for example, and they go on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And they're all vocal exercises. And you can make a note of this. It says, Siddharth Ruthi is giving a lesson on a video. And the others are about him and a few other different names I'll mention. I'll scan through them. And this is how I bring Sahil every day when I want him to do something.
Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa
Thank you, Sahil. I don't want to bore you with that. Now, so if I were to go, just hold on. If I were to go into any of those 10 videos, Sahil has them, all the patterns memorized. Okay, and they're 40 minutes long, 10 videos, 40 minutes long, they may be 3 hours. If I stop anywhere, Sahil will know precisely where he is, what's the next note. And he can continue. Not only that, he can do it backwards and forwards. And there's some, let's do this demonstration. This is something that when I used to get in,
Mapada
hold on,
Nisare
hold on, Sahil. A lot of people telling me Sahil can't sing. So I took challenges into vocal exercises, challenging ones, and to see if Sahil can do them. And watch. Go.
Nisare na ni da ni mapada nisare re 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 ga re ga sari nisa Da ni sa ni da. Ni sa ni sa re ga. Ma re sa da ni pa. Inda danush ka. Loch ka Maria. वृंदावन की जैसे गुजरिया बाबनी रात से कर दे जादू बाबनी रात से कर दे जादू आग में आग लगाए पायलिया जनक जनक तोरी बाजी पायलिया जनक जनक तोरी बाजी पायलिया प्रीत के गीत सुनाए पायलिया जनक जनक तोरी बाजी पायलिया जनक जनक तोरी बाजी पायलिया
Okay, so I went to some music teachers, and Sal has 4 years of lessons, and I'm just sharing you my experiences of how humanity treated us. We went to some music teachers, and they said he can't sing, he doesn't know. We have to start out all over the right from scratch. And I thought, wow, I sat in 4 years of lessons. Every lesson I sat in, how could Sahil not sing? So then we understood what was happening, what was going on in their people's mind, how manipulative they are. Sahil, okay, we study the art of music. Sahil, do Japanese.
Luya ke koya ke no akado miwa humare tenita goa isalohika yamano hatake no kowa no miwa kukago ni sandawa mabaloshika.
Okay, so that was a test to see if Sahil can do a song in Japanese. That was called Flight of the Dragonfly. Okay, so we'll go on to so despite Sahil not being able to understand words, Sahil can memorize and reproduce songs with all their nuances, which is a remarkable feat. Sahil singing in 3 languages indicate a strong auditory memory and pattern recognition skill. What we do with music and these lessons and doing rehearsals every day, it sets a routine and structure. A music rehearsal provides a structural activity that helps Sahil manage Sahal's behaviors and keeps him engaged. Father and son bonding. Sahil sees me not as a father, he sees me as a brother. I taught him to call me bro. And the more I interact with him, the more bond that's created with Sahil, the more positive reaction that he gives. He follows my instructions, whatever I ask of him. Um, again, the structural music activity helps control his negative behaviors and it promotes positive responses. Challenging Sahil like we challenged on Japanese song, it pushes limits of his cognitive and auditory abilities. So I'll tell you about Sahil, how we got to where we are today. Sahil was diagnosed with autism at the age of 5. Okay. I had no idea what autism was. We noticed he was missing key development milestones. He wasn't speaking. He was sensitive to textures. He wouldn't eat regular food. All the food had to be blended. He often walked on his tippy toes and didn't engage with any other kids. One of the strange thing was that Sahil was fixated on a toy piano. And he would sit with that toy piano and press all the keys. He would do it for hours. And that toy piano would break, and then we would have to go to the toy store and buy the exact model. We did that so many times that the manufacturer, they weren't marketing that piano anymore. Well, what happened when Sal was diagnosed, everything fell apart. Me and my wife were shocked.
Yeah, this is the end.
The shock was Sahil wouldn't be getting married or go to university. What happened at that early stage was that the government here in Canada, we put him on a program, and they sent 2 therapists in the house for a year to help him communicate. And his vocabulary, he understood the words, but he couldn't create a sentence. But he understood basic words, right? And years after he was diagnosed, the hospital contacted me here in Ontario. And they said, we want to run some tests on you about autism. And it's at that time that I discovered that I am mildly autistic. And that was a big impact when that happened. Then I understood. I didn't understand right away, but I really understood that, oh, that was what's going on. I had delay in learning. I couldn't read people. People often took advantage of me and thought the fool, right? But understanding of that's what it was. So when I was 16, one of the first books was Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography, The Education of a Bodybuilder. So that was like, the Bible for me, because here I was mildly autistic, people taking advantage. I couldn't relate to anybody, couldn't relate to people. So I took to the gym, and I worked out and trained for 20 years of my life. And I took that book as the Bible. And Arnold gave us a routine structure of how to train, how to live a clean life. And I'll go into that later. The book Flower for Algernon in the 80s was the first time that the book was not about an autistic person. It was a fiction. And it kind of helped me understand Sahil a little bit. Okay. But Arnold's book, it gave me rigorous training methods, structure, and explained how muscles needed to be challenged to grow. You might wonder, what does that have to do with the autism? What does that have to do with autism? How many engineers and doctors and all kind of intellectual people who never went to a gym, who doesn't know how to train, how many of them handled their autistic kid? They had no frame of reference. They didn't have any frame of reference to catch the spark of a talent that an autistic person has, right? They don't understand hard work, structure. They understand hard work in academics and how to study for exams. But exams of academics, that's all they've done. They've never done any kind of hobby or anything like that. So the way we rehearse is Arnold's basically whatever the structure that he provided. You have to train every day. You have to train long every day. You have to challenge the muscles. We challenged hold on 1 minute. Okay, just so that's how we took challenge. Instead of lifting heavy weights and doing repetitions, Sahil does a lot of repetitions. He can take a song and repeat it 10 times, no problem. He can do that every day. He doesn't get bored. And what he does is each song that he does is like a word file document that you're creating, okay? You create it once and there's mistakes, you fix the mistakes and you have a better version. But Sahil understands that concept. The song started out this way, but then he creates a better version, erases the other ones, right?
It's a firecracker.
Most singers, probably very few singers, I would say, can put the time that Sahil and me are putting in. They don't have that kind of time. They don't think like that. One of the things I noticed about other singers was they can rehearse very little, and they retain in their vocal cords all that knowledge stays. Sahil doesn't have that ability, right? So that's how I keep on challenging and pushing him. So the vocal cords and his mind, everything is always strong. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, in that book of bodybuilding, he emphasized discipline, consistency, and the mental aspect of training. He gave detailed workout for beginners, intermediates, and advanced bodybuilders, including exercise different muscle groups, set up repetition and schemes for maximize results. So what the heck does that have to do with autism?
Come back here.
Well, that's what I do.
You sing it?
I challenge him. I put different weight on, but a different
Come back
artists,
here. Come back
different
here. Come back
language,
here.
right? Sahil, sit over there.
Come back here.
Okay, just sit over
You
there.
know loudly. Come back here.
Sit on the chair. Be a good boy. So not only that Sahil
Come back here.
Um, does this every day, Sahil actually exercises every day. He runs a couple of miles every day. So when I was working, I didn't have time for Sahil's exercise because so involved with trying to earn a living. But once I retired, I got him on a program, exercise program. And when I started it, Sahil's had gained physical size. So we've been on this program for about 8-9 months, and Sahil is shrank down because of the structure. He demands that we do exercises. Even when I'm feeling lazy, I don't want to feel like doing it. Sahil will say, exercise, we have to do exercise. And, we have a workout 6 days a week. So just hold on a second.
Come back here.
If you integrate autistic people
Come back here.
with
You
structure,
know loudly. Come back
especially exercise, it's good for their health. It reduces stress and negative behavior. It gets them tired. They go to sleep on time. As I said, you guys have a lot of experience with autism because you deal with 30, 40, 50 autistic people. I just have one. So, you can understand better than I can. Okay, the second thing was about how we got Sahil to where he is. It was, I'm going to talk about a book called Flowers for Algernon and its lessons. The author is Daniel Keyes. The novel is science fiction story about Charlie Gordon, a mentally disabled man who undergoes an experimental surgical procedure aimed at increasing his intelligence. Charlie Gordon is a 32-year-old man with an IQ of 68 who works as a janitor and a delivery boy at a bakery. Eager to learn and improve himself, Charlie attends night class taught by Mrs. Alice Kinnan. Sorry, that's Miss. Recognizing his motivation, the teacher recommends Charlie for an experimental surgery designed to enhance his intelligence. Okay, why am I talking about that? I'll get to that. Don't worry about it. Why is he talking about a book about autism? Okay. Algernon is a laboratory mouse who has undergone the same procedure. Shows remarkable intelligence and improvements encouraged by Algernon's success. a team of scientists selects Charlie for their human trials. So post-surgery, Charlie's intelligence increases rapidly. He surpasses the intellectual capabilities of the scientists who conducted the experiment. As he becomes a genius, he also starts to recall painful memories from his childhood. Okay, that happened to me when I was diagnosed. A lot of things and in my life, I never understood them, but that really, when I was diagnosed, I understood. So his newfound intelligence creates a gap between him and the people around him, including the teacher with whom he falls in love with. But the story takes a tragic turn as Algernon begins to regress, losing his enhanced abilities and eventually dying. Charlie realizes that his own mental improvements might be temporary. He works frantically to understand the process and publish his findings, hoping to save himself and others from his fate. As predicted, Charlie's intelligence deteriorates. He loses his abilities and memories, reverting to his original state. In the final report, Charlie is now back to his previous mental capacity, expresses a simple but poignant wish for people to remember him and someone to put flowers on Algernon's grave. The novel explores the moral implications of using human subjects for scientific research. It addresses the relationship between intellect and emotions, showing that increased intelligence does not necessarily bring happiness. Charlie's journey highlighted the loneliness and isolation that can accompany significant changes in one's life. The story sheds light on societal attitudes towards individuals with intellectual disabilities and challenges readers to reflect on their own perception and behavior. This book impacted me deeply. I had a fear that Sahil would forget all of his songs. He would go backward and retreat into his room. The biggest fear was that loss of his vocal ability. It kept me awake at nights. Sal could easily sink into a vegetable state like Charlie, so we constantly pushed Sahil to sing. We documented his songs. Sahil took 4 years of classical lessons. He would work on countless songs with his teacher. Sahil has had several teachers, and I sat in with several, Sahil had several teachers and sat in with several students. During all these interactions, not once did the teacher or any student show interest in Sahil. He was constantly ignored. Often his lessons became routine and was no longer a challenge. So we quit the lessons. We took to YouTube, which had comprehensive lessons. And as I said, 30, 40 videos in 8 hours. Sahil singing is a form of combination of 2 attributes: autism savant syndrome and echolalia. Autism savant syndrome is a condition where an individual with autism displays extraordinary abilities or talents, often in such areas as music, art, or mathematics. Echolalia, I hope I'm announcing that correctly, defined as the meaningless repetition of words just spoken by another person, occurring as a symptom of mental condition, also plays a role. In the context of children learning to talk, it refers to repetition of speech. Further to that, Sahil has some form of perfect pitch. He actually understands the musical scale, he understands notes, and has a perfect concept of timing. The book helped me understand the potential limitations of intellectual growth and the importance of compassion and understanding. My love for music also played a crucial role. As I said, I was obsessed with Indian music, especially Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. This passion influenced Sahil. When we broke the numerous toy pianos, I got him at one time a real piano. And around when he was 7, his school discovered that Sahil could sing. So there's a video on YouTube says Sahil Prashar sings the national anthem. You'll find a 1-minute clip. That's the discovery of Sahil can perform. No, not only he was performing, but he was performing with the school band. And that was, I understood what was happening. But then I always had Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan music playing at home. It was always in the back. So one time, while listening to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Sahil came inside me and he sang this complicated line. And it was a crude, but he had the idea. And then the wheels in my head started turning. And I started to figure out that there's something here that I need to work on. Okay. So we lived in a small house in a place called Brampton. And it was very small. The outside was small. And Sahil's brain, he had figured out that he couldn't cross the boundaries of the line, the property line, because there was traffic. He could get hurt. So he knew to stop. So then I thought at that time that that's his whole world. He can't take a bus. He can't go anywhere. We need more room. It was a small house. So then we moved from that that place to a north and a secluded country farming type setting with a larger house and on several acres of land. And what's interesting is that when we moved into that place, the first day, I want to talk about that first day. The old owner was an Indian guy. And he left a giant garbage bag in front of the house. Normally, we don't touch it, garbage, but I don't know, for some reason, we looked inside the garbage bag. It was rubbish. And inside that bag was maybe 200 DVDs, CDs of music. And that was perfect for us. We start watching songs, and Sahil started watching songs. And I got him there's a store called here, the Dollar Store, which is a cheap store. So I got him a Dollar Store microphone because Sahil's brain, he knew that if you had a microphone, you needed to sing, you need to hold something. So I got him for $1, a cheap microphone, toy microphone, which worked. And then I went and got a used little karaoke machine. And we started Sahil singing. And you can find one of the first songs, second songs, is Katnani, K-A-T space N-A-I on YouTube. And that's where we got him a real mic, because he understood. He earned the microphone. Sahil, come here. Now we're going to do a little bit of music to show what we're working on. Sahil. It's okay. He's not coming. Let's see if he'll come. Come on, Sahil. Just give him a few minutes. Sit. Sit, Sahil. Okay. Okay, I know you said you wanted to do English. We'll do English too. This was queued up already. Let's go, Sahil.
Bhagwan, 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 Bhagwan. ओ दुनिया के रखवाली सुन दर्द बरी बिरी नाली सुन दर्द भरी मेरी नाली ओ दुनिया की रखवाली सुन दर्द भरी मेरी नाली सुन दर्द भरी मेरी नाली आस निराश के दो रंगों से दुनिया तूने सजाई नैया संग तूफान बनाया मिलन के साथ जुदाई जाने गलियां हर जाई ओ लुट गई मेरे प्यार की नगरी अब तो नीर बाले अब तो नीर बाले ओ अब तो नीर बाली वो दुनिया की रखवाली सुन दर्द भरी मेरी नाली सुन दर्द भरी मेरी नाली आग बनी सावन की बरखा फूल बने अंगारे नागन बन गई रात सुहानी पत्थर बन गए तारे सब टूट चुके सारे ओ जीवन अपना वापस ले जीवन देने वाली हो दुनिया की रखवाली चांद को ढूंढे पागल सूरज शाम को ढूंढे सवेरा मैं भी ढूंढू उस फ्रीडम को हो न सका जो मेरा भगवान मरा ओ तेरा ओ किस्मत फूटी आस न टूटी पाँव में पर गए छाली हो दुनिया की रखवाली आ आ मैल उदास और गलियां सुनी छुप छुप है दीवारे दिल क्या उजड़ा बन गई उजड़ी रूठ गए हैं बारे हम जीवन कैसे गुजारे वो मंदिर गिरता फिर बन जाता दिल को उन सवारी हो दुनिया की रखवाली सुन दर्द भरी मेरी नाली सुन दर्द भरी मेरी नाली ओ दुनिया के रखवाले रखवाले.
That's okay. Okay, guys, I had a little bit of audio problem. I know it came out probably horrible, but anyway, we're gonna go to another. Can we have one last one? Okay, okay. All right, one last song, but in English. Sorry, guys. We'll do it. One last song in English. Okay.
Dust is always in the air, and cleaning it, is the worst. So get a Swiffer duster. It captures dust in one swipe.
Goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew it all, and the great Moses and those around to crawl. They crawl up the woodwork and whisper into parade, and then you on the treadmill, and it made a change your name. Since the me, live your life like a candle in the wind. Never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. But I like to know you, but I was just a kid. Can't never down longer for that Jim never need. No need that will stop the toughest role. Airplane, Hollywood trail superstar. My favorite price. Even when you die, for the president and you are the rare fantasy. Since the me, live your life like a candle in the wind. Never knowing who to cling to when the rain sets in. Would I like to know you, but I was just a kid. Can never now longer hold that never need. Goodbye, Norma Jean. So I never knew it all, and the grace to hold yourself, goes around the clock.
Okay, sir. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I went a bit too much, and we got a little bit carried away, and we had some audio problems, but that's okay. Thank you for coming to the meeting, and goodbye for now.